Hey, everyone. It is FEM Talk Tuesday. Welcome back to another night of FEM Talk. So, you guys know how this goes. We get into some juicy conversations. We have an amazing guest here with us tonight. We are talking about COVID vaccinations, facts, fiction, pros, and cons tonight, you guys. So, I'm not going to introduce our special guest just yet, but I wanted to just flash on the screen for you guys. You saw that amazing commercial done by our very own Brandy the Connector for our amazing Shima She Talks. So if you guys want to donate to this wonderful cause, remember that Shima is fundraising for the beautiful ladies of Kenya, for mentors from here in the US to go out there to Kenya to work with the ladies in Kenya. Go to www.wenextshima.com. All right, you guys. So here we go. We are going to bring in the wonderful ladies of FEM Talk, and then we are going to introduce our amazing guests. Here you go. We've got Shima She Talks.
Hey guys.
We've got Brandy the Connector.
Hello.
Hey. And we've got Melissa, girl, what's up? Hey.
What's up?
Hey. So, you guys, we're here. You know, you guys, we get into all these juicy conversations. So, we have a beautiful, accomplished, amazing woman with us here tonight to talk about the COVID vaccinations, facts, fictions, pros, and cons to help people understand the vaccinations, get comfortable with what's going on with these vaccinations. So, you guys, what do you think about our topic tonight?
Much needed. Oh my God. There's so many people running around here that have no idea what they're looking at, talking about, thinking about. Oh my God. It's all over the place.
Exactly. What about you, Mimi?
I'm excited. I consider some of the stuff that we do, in the school districts kind of first level, real life stuff, because you have the students, you have parents. We're in the midst of the community. The community we were in were one of the first areas to really be ravaged by COVID last year.
Mm-hmm.
We were known as one of the epicenter last year in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of near and dear to me in a sense where I like the information. I think information is power.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we have all of our students coming back with, we have about 4,000 students, but about 3,000 of them unvaccinated. So, that's a real concern for us. And unvaccinated because they're young. We have 5 elementary schools and 2 middle schools. So, that's a real issue for us. And we want to do our best to really keep everybody safe.
Sure.
And information to me is going to be the power for, families, parents, community members. I think it's all about information. So I love it.
Absolutely. I love that. So sensitive now in the school system, right? So we'll get into that. I'm not going to get into that right now. I want to say hi to Amadeus Lorenzo. Hey, out there.
Hey.
Thank you for joining the show.
Hey, Brother King.
Yes. So Shima, tell us what you think about this before we introduce our special guest.
I think any kind of knowledge that we can get around the topic is helpful.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than making up your own thoughts. It's better than speculating. I mean, are we going to get 100% what we want to know, what we want to hear? No. But that's with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you take your tidbits where you get them and judge for yourself. Mm-hmm. I can't turn a blind eye or a deaf ear to knowledge. So I'm ready.
Mm-hmm. All right. I love it. All right, you guys, without further ado, we are going to introduce Dr. Carlene Randolph. She is absolutely amazing. So I'm going to give you her bio. Dr. Carlene Randolph is a provocative mindset coach and business strategist, you guys. She has authored Green Tea and Donuts and Total Bee and co-authored Soulful Prayers and Love Money power. You guys, Dr. Kai is a serial entrepreneur with 24 years of experience. She is a strong believer in taking a holistic approach to healing small business owners that addresses the mind, body, and soul and their business results. She has so many accolades, you guys. I'm not even going to go any further because I'm going to let her tell us a little bit more about herself and why she is here tonight, why we have asked her to actually come on to talk about the COVID vaccination, because she is quite knowledgeable in this area. There is doctor is in front of her name for a reason. So, so you guys, let's bring her in. Here we go. Dr. Kai, welcome to
Welcome.
Hi, ladies.
So I have a little joke before we get started, right? Because Dr. Kai's last name is Randolph. And we met at an event where we both were being honored and started talking and found out that our families are actually from the mountains in Virginia. We both have some connection there. So I'm just going to say she's my cousin.
That's right.
This is my cousin, you guys. So Dr. Kai, tell our audience a little bit about yourself, and then we are going to jump right into this conversation.
Sure, there's so much to tell. Okay. So not only do I have all that experience with the life coach and business aspects, I also have a background in the federal service as a civil servant for 24 plus years. I like to say that.
We're going to celebrate that, y'all.
Yeah.
Hashtag 22 on
Yes, yes. So I've worked for some really significant organizations, the FBI, CMS, HRSA. Good Lord. Woo. Come on, Carlene. FDA. Look, I'm presently at FDA. So I've been around for a little bit, and I've held a number of, Social Security Administration. So I've held a number of leadership roles within those organizations, and touching really important, touching really important subject matter, and a lot of it around public health, of course, and you know, some of these things that I've touched really affect your lives. And it's funny because I get to see how health insurance is carried out. I get to see how the doctors receive payments. I've gotten to see over the years how drugs are approved, right? And so, it reaches all across all gamuts. Of course, I have a bachelor's of science in nursing. I have an MBA. I have an accountancy master. I have several PhDs. One of them is in public health. One is in genetics.
I mean, come on, I'm gonna have to give
you get into the nitty gritty of everything over there.
Okay, we're gonna give her a hashtag 22 on that one too, you guys, because I mean, listen, this is a woman on the move who's doing a lot here, and she's got a lot of accolades behind her name. So I just wanted you to know why she is here tonight and why we are talking to her about COVID vaccination tonight. So I want to jump into the conversation. So you guys know, if you haven't seen the show, I'm always ready with some questions here, right? So I just want to ask you to start off with, you know, telling us a little bit about what's in the vaccination, because people hear it on the news, but they don't explain it in a way that people completely really understand what they know and what they do say, right? And if you don't do your own research, you really won't know. But they are telling us that there is a protein that's found in the coronavirus that is in the vaccination, right? So give us a little more color that will kind of get people comfortable with what's in it.
So there are a number of what I would call ingredients that you should know about.
Okay.
But I think people are worried about the wrong thing.
Okay. Explain that to us.
Yeah, just think of it. We have a number of vaccines out here. We've had them since early times, right? We can go back to influenza. We can go back to a number of different viruses, right, that we have vaccines for. We have the mumps, we have the measles. You name it, we have vaccines for it. The difference right now is that we have not seen a virus kill
Mm-hmm.
as many people as this vaccine.
Mm.
And we've had large numbers over time, and considering the ages of the times when we've had those situations,
Mm-hmm.
um, it has never been as aggressive
Okay.
as it is right now,
Mm-hmm.
right? And let me not make you feel that it's super important to think about COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But it is important to consider that we have had vaccines for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why we get these vaccines are because a large number of people will get sick and they will die.
Mm-hmm.
And without the vaccine, the spread of a virus is pretty quickly. A virus needs a living thing to regenerate in.
Mm-hmm.
We're living bodies.
Mm-hmm.
We live in cities. We live in compacted areas, you know. And even those who live rurally,
Mm-hmm.
they can be infected at high numbers as well if they are compacted, right? And so you just have to consider, and I'm going to speak from a public health perspective.
Okay.
We live in places where people congregate,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
families congregate.
Mm-hmm.
And so those things help a virus regenerate.
Mm-hmm.
We're in close quarters. We kiss, we
Mhm.
hug, we
Mhm.
cough,
Mm-hmm.
we do all kinds of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which helps a virus to regenerate,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so those are the things that I think people should really consider,
Mm-hmm.
right? I myself and my entire family just took a trip. We
Mhm.
returned, and my entire family got COVID.
Wow. Wow.
And two of us are
Mhm.
vaccinated,
Mm-hmm.
but the
Oh.
entire family
Mm-hmm.
acquired COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because we are in close proximity,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were amongst others
Yeah.
who may have carried the virus.
Yeah. Can we talk about that a little bit? Because that was going to be part of the question too. Like, okay, so you said two were vaccinated, the others, I'm guessing, were not, right? So can you
That's right.
talk about, even just from your, not even from your family perspective, what the symptoms were vaccinated versus non-vaccinated?
They weren't really different.
Okay. Okay.
And see, I heard, well, I'll say this. We kind of felt sluggish. We
Mm-hmm.
kind of felt um, stuffy noses.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the family members kept saying, I can't taste anything,
Mm-hmm.
which is a mark
Right.
of the virus, right? You
Right.
can't taste anything.
Right.
But just a stuffy nose, just want to lay around. You don't want to do anything, and you just feel yucky,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And quite honestly, it reminded me of having the flu.
Okay.
Now, I want to tell you something even more important,
Mm-hmm.
that I have high blood pressure,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the other family members has high blood pressure,
Mm-hmm.
right? Three of us have asthma, and we're chronic asthmatics,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the symptoms lasted for about 5 days,
Okay.
and then they went away.
Okay. So
We were lucky.
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? But there are others out there who have terrible experiences, right? Shortness of breath, which really lands you in the hospital, right? Your heart rate increases,
Mm-hmm.
your breathing increases, right? Because you're trying to gasp for air and you're not getting that air in. And I don't know if any of you have seen some of the x-rays of lungs from those who've acquired the virus, but it looks so cloudy. It's like a web of sorts, right? Because it's taking up the airway. It's not allowing the inflammation to go down within the lungs, right? And so it makes it really difficult for some people to beat that virus. Like I said, some will land in the hospital, some will spend weeks, some will spend months in the hospital because of their experiences with the symptoms. Not everybody has the same symptom.
So I have a question for you too, then, because you mentioned some of the other kind of ailments that you and your family members suffer from. So, is there any underlying condition that makes the vaccination not good for someone?
Okay, so that's a really touchy situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say this first,
Mm-hmm.
that it could be the same way with any other vaccination.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
That's why I'm saying
Yeah.
it pays to pay attention to all the other vaccinations,
Sure.
because there could be groups that have similar, not so great experiences with the vaccine.
Sure.
But that number is small.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other thing I should say to you is that researchers
Mm-hmm.
have been at this for a short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So let me give you an idea.
Mm-hmm.
It can take a very long time to approve a drug.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a generic drug, it could take as long as 10 months.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a new drug, it could take a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago, it could take almost 20 years to approve a drug.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But we've gotten better at it with the
Yeah.
experiences.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. I'm glad
Yeah.
that you said years ago versus now. And that is that just a result of, technology,
Technology.
we are today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And luckily, there have been diverse pools of people who have participated in the studies
Mm-hmm.
for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? Not as many as others before.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because people are afraid.
Right.
They were afraid.
Right.
And especially the Black population,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we think about the Tuskegee incident,
Mm-hmm.
and we think about all the other things that have occurred in our population
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to being part of a test, being part of a study, right? No one wants to be the one that receives the placebo
Mm-hmm.
and receives no help.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And so we have to actually, in our community, shake that off, because the more numbers of us who participate in studies,
Mm-hmm.
the better the outcomes are down the road for us with the development of medicines, vaccines.
Yeah.
We have to be educated, yes, but we also have to participate in order for us to have better outcomes.
Yeah, this is good. Okay, you guys, we're gonna break for just 1 minute. This is too good, though. I have so many questions. I have so many questions for you, but this is good, and I'm glad that you're approaching this conversation in this way to get people comfortable. But we do have a young lady that's gonna come on and talk to us, because I wanted to, but I'm gonna save this for after she comes on. I wanted to talk to you and just maybe think about this, everybody here, about the protocols that people should be doing with their health, vaccinated or not, some of the things that people should actually be doing to help their physical health, regardless of any vaccination that you may or may not have, the things that we should be doing. So Shirley Xavier is going to join us really quickly, because she has a natural sanitizer that she wants to talk about. And I want to bring her on to talk about her wonderful product here. So we're going to bring Shirley into the room, you guys. Welcome, Shirley, to the conversation. Hey, hey, hey. I wanted to show Shirley the pictures of your product first before you get started, to let everybody see what this actually looks like. And you can tell us and talk to us about the product. If you want to get started, I'm just going to keep this there for a minute, and then I'll put you on the screen again. But I just wanted people to see this, what we're actually talking about and what it looks like, so that they know what they're getting when they come to you for this wonderful natural sanitizer. All right, Shirley, take it away. I'm going to take the rest of the ladies out, you guys, and we're going to come back. We are going to talk to Dr. Kai some more, to think about those protocols that we should actually be doing to take care and secure our health. Take it away, Shirley. We can't hear you, my darling. Still can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There you go. There you go. Now we can hear you. All right. Tell us about Skin Tech.
Yes, yes. So I am, first and foremost, I just want to thank you, Tracy, for actually having me on the show tonight. And hello, everybody on FEM Talk. FEM Talk is truly an amazing show. This is probably, I think, my third episode watching the show, and I am definitely hooked. I want to say that right now we already know the state of the world. Still in the midst of a pandemic. It's about to be September 1st, 2021, and here we are. So this conversation couldn't definitely be in a more crucial time, but I really, really want to make sure that everyone is protected. As you saw the picture that was on the screen where it said to protect your planet, but it's not just protecting your planet, but it's protecting your family, protecting yourself, protecting your loved ones, and especially protecting our children. Our children right now are the ones that are actually catching COVID, Delta, Lambda, whatever, all these new variants that are coming out faster than anyone else right now. And this amazing product called Skin Tech is here to put your minds to ease. It's actually not a hand sanitizer, but it's an antiseptic foam. And how it simply works is all natural. I'm going to go ahead and show it to you. All you do is put a pump of this in your hand. Where's the camera? Right here, right? You rub it in. And once you rub it in, first of all, it feels amazing, okay? But it's starting to get silky. It's starting to get sticky because it's turning into an invisible glove. And once this completely dries, it's going to protect you from all bacteria, germs, fungi, even viruses, and chloric acid cannot penetrate this. Everything you touch is dead on contact. And ladies and gentlemen, it lasts on your hands for 4 hours. 4 hours of this wearable, amazing, invisible glove, liquid glove that is on your hands. So when it comes to our children, especially the ones under the age of 10, they cannot disconnect or disassociate the floor from their face, from the food, from another child. It all jumbles together in one big old soup. Okay. So just having this is amazing for our family, and you guys need to get your hands on Skin Tech today. It's already drying. If you go to letsstayprotected.com, you'll see a real quick minute video on how the product works.
All right. I love it, Shirley. And this, you guys, is Shirley's email address. So you can reach out to her, mgmt@shirleycouture.com. All right, you guys. Thank you, Shirley, for coming on to let us know about Skin Tech. All right. So you guys, we are going to just jump back into our conversation. And we have a wonderful vacation spot to show you guys as well tonight. So we're going to go through that really quickly a little bit later on, because I want to get Dr. Kai back in here to talk about this. This is too juicy, but we want to thank Shirley for that wonderful product. You guys go out there, get your product. Here is the website. Her email again. All right, you guys, here we go. We are going back to bring the ladies of FEM Talk in and Dr. Kai, and we are going to get back into this subject. So you guys just got a live commercial here. Done for you live. All right. So Dr. Kai, in thinking about that question that we were talking about right before we went into our commercial break, can you just let us know what protocols do people really need to consider and start to do if they are not already, just to protect themselves, whether they're vaccinated or not?
Okay. So I wanted to kind of focus on what Mimi said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start there.
Okay.
If you're and you have school-aged children, right? Your children are not vaccinated, right? We have a number of them who are not vaccinated, and I believe there are some teachers who are not vaccinated. So I'm going to say this. When you're in indoor places, if you are 2 years of age or older, you really need to wear your mask. That's first and foremost. Wear your mask. I'm about to sound like the TikTok guy. But wear your mask. Right? The other thing is that you should always practice hand washing, and using hand sanitizer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can't get around it, right? The other thing is that if anyone feels like they are sick, they need to stay at home and quarantine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I see
Yes,
Mimi's clapping
please.
over there.
Yes, please.
Because she runs a whole school district. So she's saying,
Yeah.
please stay home. Please stay
Please stay
home.
home. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I can't stress it enough. It doesn't mean that you have COVID. It's
Mhm.
just that even if you're in a compromised state like that, it makes it easier for you to pick up other bacteria, viruses. So
Yeah.
if you're not feeling well, stay
Mhm.
home.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say is that if you are taking any medications that can weaken your immune system, you
Mhm.
need to make sure you are doing the things that I've suggested.
Mhm.
Um, that includes wearing a well fitted mask.
Mhm.
So let's talk about how to properly wear a mask. That is super important. I know people are saying, oh, it doesn't matter. It matters.
Mm.
If you are
I just
wearing one,
appreciate the nonverbal points that are coming through
Emphasis.
screens, like the eye movement. I mean, if you guys aren't looking or don't see it, I need you to pay attention to her face
I
because
love
she is
so
it.
not only giving you verbal knowledge, she is giving you non-verbal knowledge.
I am using those cues
That's right.
purposefully.
That's
Right.
part of the emphasis there.
I love it.
So let's talk about the fact that your mask does not to be need to be sitting under your nose.
Yes. Yes.
Otherwise, what's
There
the
is
point?
a wire. There is a wire within the bridge of your mask. It needs to
For a
be
reason.
down and around your eyes. It needs to be well fitted. If you are wearing those loose fitted masks, you need to twist them and then put them around your ear.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad you
Um,
said that too, because a lot of them come very quite loose. Mimi's demonstrating for you here.
thank you, Mimi. Absolutely.
Hashtag.
That's right. And if you wear glasses
Absolutely.
like we do, cap the glasses over the top wire, right? You're sure to seal it
Exactly.
in with your glasses. So
Now, there's a trick. If you have the paper mask and you
Mhm.
wear glasses, Mimi, if you can flip that top down under your glasses, right? Yeah. If you flip the inside down,
Mm.
Yeah.
it will stop your glasses from fogging up.
Oh no, thank
Very
you.
nice. Thank you.
Oh, snap.
I have to tell my son that. I have to tell my
Yeah.
son that because it is mandatory that they wear masks in high school here in North
Yeah.
Carolina, and he just kept asking me, "How do I stop my mask from fogging?
Mhm.
I mean, my glasses from
You,
fogging up with the
oh
mask
my gosh,
down."
you know what I had to do? Y'all seen like my little Mortal Kombat mask, right? And it has the vents, but my vents have actually has little filters that go in the vents, so there's
Mhm.
no open space through it.
Mhm.
So when I wear that one, it cuts off. It actually cuts off so tightly, it actually completely cuts me off from the exterior. So I
Mhm.
can breathe because of the vents, but that air goes here instead of up the up the front of the
Right.
mask and fogging
Yeah.
my glasses when I am wearing them.
So Brandy, are you able to show me that mask?
I have a similar one in the room, but that mask stays in my vehicle in case of an emergency situation.
Okay. Because I want to talk about a certain mask.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these ones, because they're the ones that just have the vents, right? And those ones are just basically open air vents to everything.
Mhm.
So the ones that I get, there's this little plastic piece in this one because I don't use it because my head's little and this mask is too big. But they're little vent filter pieces that you can take this plastic piece out and place in there instead to actually seal you off from the exterior like you're supposed to be. Now the reason why, because there are a lot of people that were traveling and had these similar masks, but they didn't have the filters in here. And a flight attendant doesn't have time to see if you have the filter or not. So these kinds of masks are not allowed on planes.
Yeah, and I'll
But
tell
if
you
you're
why.
running around out and about and you know what you're doing as far as this type of mask goes, because it has the filter inside as well.
Mhm.
And then the little filters that go in the holes here to properly seal you off. But it also has the brace on the nose here to go around your nose properly. Now, these ones, when they fit right, are tight enough that they will leave an imprint, but that's basically how you know you're sealed off properly.
Yeah. So I'm gonna break your heart for a little bit.
Go for it.
So to be safe, I will say that if you go into a health care facility, you will never see them wear a mask like that.
Never.
Okay.
No.
So I want you to take your cues from your public health folks, your healthcare folks. So wear a mask that completely covers with no opening. There should be no gaps back here. And those little filters, you don't want to trust those either right now. You want a mask that covers like Melissa.
Got you. And I have several types. The one that I actually predominantly use it's a fitted mask like Melissa's with it's got copper in the material.
So right now,
a question out there from Courtney. So I just wanted to bring that up. Hey, Courtney, thank you for joining us tonight. He says, do you recommend anyone not get vaccinated? I think this goes with the question that we were talking about earlier. Like, are there any underlying issues that would, say that people should not get vaccinated?
So because I work in the organization that I work in, I cannot tell anyone not to get vaccinated.
Sure.
What I can tell you is use your best knowledge about your health concerns or your health issues and the vaccination. Now, on a personal note, I will never tell anyone not to get vaccinated. It is a personal choice. Now, I'm going to say this, politically correct, that there's always going to be someone that is for and against, right? And there's always going to be a study to show why you should and why you shouldn't. So what I say to folks is be educated consumers about the things that you either ingest or that you are injected with. So that you know what your outcomes are. Just be educated about your health and the vaccination.
So I have a question for you there. From a public health perspective, what is the best resource that you would say people should go to get educated on the vaccinations?
Get out of my brain, Tracy.
Huh?
I was going to ask that question too.
Oh.
So, of course, everyone should be checking out the CDC website at all times. I make sure I go to the CDC website and I also look at the FDA website. 2 reasons. CDC is responsible for those outcomes and FDA is responsible for those vaccinations. You need to be looking at both.
Okay. And is there anything else that you would recommend?
So you should also pay attention to what's happening in other countries. You will see some things happening in research and development. You should pay attention to those things. You should pay attention to what happens to those, if you are of the Black diaspora, you should pay attention to the outcomes that they are having, not only here in the US, but in other countries. You should also be asking your providers when you go in about those outcomes.
Right. That's right.
I don't hear enough people say, when they say, I'm not getting the vaccination, what they say is just, I'm not doing it. I have a right. But what they're not saying is what they see in the research, what they actually see in the outcomes. If you're not paying attention, you should pay attention. Be educated so that when you walk into your doctor's office and you decide that you don't want to take a vaccine, and this is any vaccine, family, this is any vaccine. If you decide that you don't want to take a vaccine or have your child take a vaccine, make sure you're educated about the vaccine.
That's right.
And why I love that, Dr. Randolph, Dr. Kai. You had a few names there because one of the things that and I think this is the controversy when it first came out. My husband and I were on two different sides of the spectrum, and we have three children, all adult age, and they were all kind of wondering and actually looking for our guidance as parents. And what we did was we went to medical professionals, and we started to do. He did a lot of the research, like you said. He went on the CDC website. He went on the FDA website. He got a lot of information on his own. I did this similar things. I looked up the ingredients of all three of the major vaccines that are now being out there for us to take. I looked at anything I could find, and then I went to some of the health professionals who had taken the vaccine. They expressed their thoughts on it. They talked about the outcomes that they have seen for themselves, and also what they've seen that has worked, working in the hospital, what they saw, the symptoms of people, and how, and the rate of transmission, and people, how sick certain people were getting. And, when I heard all of that information, that's how I finally made my decision. And I think that's the piece, the information, it's powerful. And depending on, and another piece that I want to talk about is, what is your day-to-day looking like? I think for certain people that may be more homebound, then you can make a different decision. But if you're out and about, if you are amongst people, if you are in many different settings, which I know I would have been, I had to think about that, because part of the issue is, what do you then bring home to now your family? And I think when you think about all of that, that's where your decision making needs to come into play. And that's what I'm not hearing enough of, is when I go out to A, B, C, and D, what comes home with me? How am I, when the thing started, I know a lot of people in the medical profession, some of them were not coming home. Some of them got alternative living facilities. Some of them would, come in, dress fully, take everything off, go into the shower, like almost decontaminate themselves, similar to when you go into certain environmental things, and then they would come into the house. So again, what protocols are you taking to now safeguard your family if you decide to do that? And I think those are the kind of questions, and I'm so glad you brought that up, is the information. And I think you have a responsibility as a member of a family, as a citizen of a community, to do that. And not just take this,
That's right.
Thank you so much for saying that. Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, Brandy.
So for there's been arguments back and forth about, when you're vaccinated, can you still catch COVID? Obviously, if you're paying attention to the news, it's a yes. And in your experience, it's a yes. But a lot of people are still arguing about the fact, or non-fact, that if you catch COVID while vaccinated, can you still spread it as well?
It's a virus. Point blank. Viruses regenerate in living organisms. It's a virus. And so that's where it gets unbearable for me sometimes, right? Because when I hear the conversation, if you're a living organism and you get a virus, you can transmit. If you cough, if you sneeze, I still see people do this. It's all in their hands.
Right.
It's just like making a pancake. It's all in their hands. And then when I go to the schools, I see the kids.
Right.
Right.
And nobody wants to wash their hands.
So, and this is even with the mask on. So when they're doing this with the mask on, what's happening? This is opening up. Right. And so that mask is now sliding out You're doing all of this, and things can it can escape, right? So
Yeah.
if the kid is a carrier, right? So you really have to kind of pay attention to behaviors. And that's why I said I wanted to come from the public health perspective, because really it's about our behaviors on whether or not this thing speeds up faster or whether it slows down. It will, in fact, slow down with more vaccinated people. I'm just going to say that. But it also will slow down when we start practicing habits that will secure our safety.
And
Yeah.
maintaining
So you know I'm gonna have to come from the health coach perspective, right? Because and this is the reason why I was asking about other protocols. Not to say not to get vaccinated, but just to say, take care of yourself, regardless of if it's the flu,
Oh,
if
I
it's
was going to go there.
COVID. Say that again.
I was going to go there.
Okay. So I'm gonna let you do that, but I wanted to incorporate that because I think people miss that point, and I think people think that just because they're vaccinated, that now they don't have to take those other precautions in taking care of themselves to make sure that their immune system is built up. Not just with the vaccination, but otherwise for any virus that's out there. So can you talk about that?
So, for me, I lean more towards natural things when I get sick.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my entire family did elderberry, we did D3, we did vitamin C. We took, of course, Tylenol when we weren't feeling well, with the aches and pains. Um, we did smoothies, we did green smoothies to help detox our bodies. We drank gallons of water,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And not just purified water, we drank gallons of alkaline water.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we just made sure that we ate healthy. So, fruits, vegetables were the theme of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm a vegetarian, so I don't have that to worry about. But
Mm-hmm.
my other family members still do participate in eating poultry, meat. And so, did it bother them the whole time? No, because nobody had an appetite, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So after the fact,
Mm-hmm.
has family members returned to their former eating habits? No, right?
Mm.
And I
Oh, I
think
love
what helped get us through was the fact that we just kept it as clean as possible. I
that.
wasn't
Yes.
cooking anything,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything was
that sounds
raw,
like the right diet.
and we went for it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Thank you
So,
for that, Dr. Kai. That just warms my heart. Thank you for that. So I want to ask you
let me
too.
add this, Tracy, too,
Okay.
that while folks were laying down in the bed, I was
Mm-hmm.
going from bedroom to bedroom and on my PPE. And I was helping folks exercise, because guess what? You
Come
still
on,
need to
Dr.
move.
Kai. Yeah.
You still need to move. You got to move, because if you don't, um, there are other things that can set in, right? So you can't let this
Right.
thing beat you. Now, before and after, you still need to do the same things.
Yeah. Yes, I absolutely love that. So you have warmed my heart. You guys have heard it here from Dr. Kai to take care of yourself, vaccinated or not. You need to make sure that you are eating good, that you are staying hydrated, that you are getting all of the proper nutrition in. And if you heard it here, she said raw. So when you want to take care of yourself and you want to detox your body, raw is the way to go. I'm so glad that you said that. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that confirmation right there. And then she also said you need to move. Exercise is so essential, you guys, and it helps to build your immune system. And like she said, to not allow other things to set in while you are trying to recover from a virus. Okay, so make sure that you are doing all those things that Dr. Kai mentioned. I love that. I'm so glad. So appreciate that. But I wanted to ask you, even in regards to that, just going the natural route and making sure that you're taking care of your body that way as well. Is there any validation to making sure that you're taking, because everybody's talking about now it was zinc, right? When coronavirus first started, zinc, vitamin D, and there's I don't want to mispronounce it, but ivermectin. Is that the way you actually pronounce it?
Mhm,
I was actually looking
mhm.
this up today, and it was saying that it's actually meant to rid animals mostly of parasites and like to help their stool, right? So I was like, okay, wow, now they're promoting this particular drug, and people have actually listened to those comments and started to buy, right, just on their own without going to a doctor, started to buy ivermectin. So I just wanted to kind of touch on things like that where people may not really have an understanding. Maybe it's up to your doctor to give you those protocols, but not to go out and try to order those things on your own and not know how much you should take and all of that. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Correct. So all those things work. We took them in this household.
Okay.
I just want to stress that this is what we did.
Okay.
I I won't say not to talk to your healthcare provider. You do need to talk to your health. Some healthcare providers feel that the studies show that it doesn't help. Some
Mm-hmm.
providers, like mine, who
Mm-hmm.
are into alternative medicines,
Mm-hmm.
believe that they do help. And
Mm-hmm.
so I followed that protocol. Again, we were up in about 4.5, 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Nice. I
So
love it. I
for
am
for the peanut gallery here, what exactly is ivermectin?
So, I mean, when you start going, let me just say this: when you start going to take alternative medications and herbs, you don't want to fool with, because it's just a generic term. When you don't want to fool with the fact that you don't have enough knowledge, like you just said, what is that? But yet we walk into the store and we say, I want ivermectin.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
it's, for me, I would say, if you don't know what it is, don't take it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take elderberry, if you take D3, if you take vitamin C, if you take zinc on a usual basis, those are the
Mm-hmm.
things that will help you in any cold or flu season.
Mm-hmm.
It also helped us
Mm-hmm.
with getting through COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So most of those items, if you don't know the generic terms for them, don't take them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I'm going to say that. Don't take
Mm-hmm.
them. If you don't know what it is, don't take it. But if
Mm-hmm.
you know what elderberry is, right?
I'm
Mm-hmm.
familiar with that.
Some people will go buy the leaves, they'll
Mm-hmm.
pull it, and they'll take the juice from it and they'll drink it.
Mm-hmm.
As long as your healthcare provider or naturopathic doctor says do it, then
Mm-hmm.
do it. But don't arbitrarily pick these things up from a store,
Mm-hmm.
um, and just take them because you heard that it does wonders with the virus. Don't do that,
Mm-hmm.
because you may have underlying issues that may prevent you from having the best outcome.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for
Agreed.
that as well. I just wanted to mention that because when you look on social media, that's what people are saying, and I just wanted to mention that as well. We are going to do a quick vacation check-in to the Grand Canyon, you guys, and then we're going to come back and close it out with Dr. Kai. So we're going to show some of these wonderful pictures. As you guys know, we're closing out our vacation hotspots, and we'll be coming to you in September with some new segments that are going to be great. So you guys just stay tuned for that. But here we go. Let's bring in those vacation hotspots. This is the Grand Canyon. So I'm going to give you guys some really quick fun facts on the Grand Canyon and just show you these beautiful pictures. This is one of the natural wonders of the earth, and it is right here in the United States. So you do not have to travel internationally to get there, but it is 1 mile deep, 277 miles long, 18 miles wide. It's larger than the state of Rhode Island. You guys, the Grand Canyon has an elevation spanning 2,000 to 8,000 feet. It has an estimated 1,000 caves, and only 335 of those have actually been recorded. And there's only one cave open to the public at the moment called the Cave of the Domes on Horseshoe Mesa. So that is some of the fun facts. It has an estimated 5.9 million people that visit it per year, and it was created by a geological erosion of the Colorado River, you guys. But it has some of the most beautiful landscape that you have ever seen, and it is one of the most studied landscapes across the globe. All right, it goes from the north rim to the south rim through the canyon is about 215 miles, and if you go through the canyon, it takes like 5 hours versus if you drive outside of the canyon. All right, they have a skywalk that gives you an aerial view of about 70 feet. So how amazing is that? This is the Grand Canyon. It is populated by 5 Native American tribes. How amazing is that as well? And it was made a national monument in 1908 and then a national park in 1919. So this is the beautiful Grand Canyon. These pictures are absolutely amazing. This is a great vacation hotspot for anybody to go to if you want to get that last vacation in before some of your kids go back to school. Mine is actually already in school, but there you have it, the Grand Canyon. You know, make that one of your vacation spots someday soon if you can't go before the kids
Yes.
go back to school.
That was my vacation spot in 2019, and top vacation. It was gorgeous.
Yes. So really quickly, Mimi, your favorite part about Grand Canyon?
Wow. The ability just to kind of go out there. They don't stop you from going out into the ledge, so I would be careful. Although an interesting fact is how many people die at the Grand Canyon because they go too far out into the canyon. But I think the most amazing thing I saw was really it was stunning. Anywhere you drove to, they have all these lookouts, so you could drive, like you said, around. We was at the South Rim, and there was at least 20, if not more, stops, and every spot was something different, something more spectacular, something more wonderful. It was just amazing just to see the Grand Canyon and just to take in the awe. It is awe dropping, just gorgeous, and it always just what God can do with His earth is just amazing. So.
Amen.
Totally
Amen.
beautiful.
Yes, awesome. So you heard it here from our very own Melissa, Girl Bossed Up. Go visit the Grand Canyon. Go on a guided tour though, because you heard what she said, right? A lot of people have died at the Grand Canyon, so we want to make sure that you are on a guided tour so that you do not get lost in there. But we want to just come back to this conversation really quickly. It has been great talking with Dr. Kai. She has given you some amazing nuggets for you guys to think about to make sure that you safeguard yourself, and some information on getting vaccinated, making sure that you're taking the proper measures, wearing masks, washing your hands, watching your behavior, you guys. So Dr. Kai, I want to give the last word to you, just to talk to the people. What do you want to leave them with? Final last words on what you want to leave them with, just to know about the virus, the vaccination, how to take care of themselves, whatever you want that to be.
Yep. So I would like to say collectively, we can beat this, but we have to beat it with the right behaviors. Wash your hands, wear your mask, be educated about the different strains of the virus. Know that the vaccination is a choice, but protect one another. That's probably globally what I would say to everyone is if you're not going to do it for you, do it for the next person. Wash your hands, wear your gloves, use hand sanitizers. Think twice before you do something that may possibly spread the virus.
Yeah, that's good.
That's in a nutshell. That's it.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. So we want to give a special thanks to Dr. Kai for being here, for sharing her knowledge, giving us all this great information, for giving you a level of comfort on what you need to do to make sure that you are protecting you and your family, because that's really what it boils down to. Protect your loved ones. You heard her say that. We want to make sure that we're doing that. We have already lost too many people, you guys. So look at what's best for you and your family and make sure that you are conducting yourselves in a way that helps to safeguard everyone that you love. All right. We want to give a special thanks to Shirley Xavier for coming on to let us know about the wonderful product Skin Tech that she has, which is a natural sanitizer. So thank you, Shirley, for coming on to do so. Reach out to her at let's stayprotected.com. You can reach out to Shirley there. You guys, this has been another great episode of FEM Talk. You guys, we want to make sure that we are giving you the right information. If there is any topics that you guys want to cover, please let us know. Reach out to us. Go to the FEM Talk show page. Reach out to all of us, or you can email us at femtalk@e360tv.com. If you guys want to see us on demand because you could not catch the whole show, go to E360 TV, it can be found on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, Android TV, and the E360 TV app. You guys, you can always catch us there. Dr. Kai, you are absolutely amazing. That's my cousin, you guys. Look. But you are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for sharing with us. We know that you do some very sensitive work, so we wanted to respect you, but we needed your knowledge as well. So we absolutely thank you for coming on. You guys, she's absolutely amazing. How can people reach out to you if they want to reach out to you to connect with you for any reason? Because you are doing so many things across the board.
Yeah.
A number of things that they want to talk to you about. So just tell us how they can reach out to you.
Sure. The easiest way is to drop me an email at info@womenignitenow.com. Easiest way. But you can also reach out to me on IG. That is Dr. Kai One. You give me 24 to 48 hours if you're trying to contact me in IG. But you can find me on most social media platforms. Again, 24 to 48 hours of a response, but I will get back to you.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
just wanted to make sure I got that right. info@womenignitenow.com. Or I know that you are on Facebook as Dr. Carlene Randolph.
Yes.
On IG, can you give us your IG handle again?
It's Dr. Kai,
Okay.
the number one.
Dr. Kai #1 on Instagram, you guys.
Yeah.
So reach out to her, connect with her. I also know I've been seeing your name pop up on Clubhouse too. So I know that you're doing some Clubhouse
Yes.
talks as well. So if you guys want some more powerful, empowering information, go to Clubhouse, look for Dr. Kai in her club room and see what she's talking about in there. I'm sure it's a wealth.
I have 5, just in case
she
you're
has,
looking for.
she has 5. All right. So I would say connect with Dr. Kai on Clubhouse, follow her, and then you'll get to see what she's actually doing there because she has five club rooms. All right, you guys.
Right.
So this has been another episode of FEM Talk. We will see you back here next week, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've got the lovely ladies of FEM Talk, Mimi, Melissa Girl Bossed Up, Shima, She Talks, and Brandy the Connector. And I am Tracy, the Reset Coach, and we are out. Thank you again, Dr. Kai. God bless everybody.
Love you, ladies. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you so much.
Good night. Good night.